All right, so I think we are live, right? All right, so a very warm good evening to everyone out there. How are you all? Thank you so much for joining today. I welcome all of you to this very awaited and very important session of this month, actually, and that is on National Astronomy Challenge Guidelines and FAQs Part 2. So I'm sure most of you must have attended the part 1 of this particular session, which we had a few weeks ago, last month, when we had talked a lot about the flagship contest that we are going to have very soon. And I'm sure that all of you are very excited. And I hope that you all are preparing your best and preparing well for this upcoming NAC exam. Now, we have been having several sessions on NAC. We have already conducted the master class for a few grades. Tomorrow, we are going to have the master class for seniors, that is grades 8th and 9th. Along with that, we are constantly having sessions on various different important topics of astronomy and space science. So I hope that you all are following those constantly. If you're not able to attend them live, I hope you're attending them later because you will get really good and detailed information about every important subject matter from which we might have questions in the NAC exam. But today's session is very important from the point of view of the fact that today we are going to discuss about how we are going to conduct this NAC exam. So we are going to discuss in detail about the pattern of exam, about the dates, the timings, the do's and don'ts that you need to strictly follow so that you can maximize your chances of acing this exam. So today, since we are having it live and I can see several of you have joined us live, if you do have any queries, any questions, then you can of course ask us in the chat. But we have already got a lot of queries based on which we have curated this session. So I suppose by the end of today's session, most of your questions must be answered. If you still have any questions which is left to be answered, you can of course put it up on the chat. We are monitoring that as well. So the National Astronomy Challenge, which I am supposed that all of you are already aware about, is an all India level contest that we conduct every year and where you are able to showcase your astronomy and space science knowledge and skills. This year, we are having the 7th edition of this Olympiad, and I am very sure that all of you are aware of the rewards that we are going to have this year. So NAC is basically a national level astronomy challenge, and it is conducted from grades 4 to grade 9. And each grade will have a unique set of questions, and you will be, of course, competing with only the students of your own grade, but of course, on a national level. Okay. So we are able to pick the best performers among all of you. So it's a complete learning ecosystem. It's not just simply an one-way Olympiad or one-way test. It's actually a complete learning ecosystem because in the journey of preparation for NAC, you get to learn a lot of different things about space science, about astronomy, about various things that are happening in this domain throughout the world. And of course, that not only makes you knowledgeable and fit for a single exam, but also as a whole, as an individual, you get to learn a lot of things that you are able to use even in your academic life, maybe in your schools, in other kind of exams or Olympiads that you might be appearing for. Now, of course, in the previous part, we had covered in detail about what are the different components of this NAC, which includes various kinds of live interactions, study materials, and of course, the awards, which I'm sure that all of you are pretty much aware. So this year, the ultimate award that will be given to, or that will be awarded to the top winners is a sponsored trip to the Udaipur Solar Observatory, which is actually Asia's largest solar observatory, boasting this 20-inch multi-application solar telescope. And of course, along with that, you will also be rewarded certificates of merit, participation, and all these things. The top winners from each grade will be actually selected, and they will be taken for this particular trip where you will get the chance to interact with real astronomers, real scientists, and you will get the chance to actually enhance your knowledge and skills about space science and astronomy. So, well, with all these rewards and stuff like that, it's very important that you are actually aware of how you can prepare for this exam in the best possible manner. And after the previous part, that is part one of this session, the most frequently asked question was that how we can get this particular ebook, or what can be the importance of this ebook. So before I go for the importance, let me just quickly give you a small tour of our Spacetopia platform. So I'm sure that all the NAC participants must have registered on our Spacetopia platform as of now. If you haven't yet, you can go to spacetopia.in and you can register yourself so that you are actually getting to know about this entire platform. So when you log into our platform, this is our home page, and you can see there is an NAC button which is hanging at the top, of course, flashing like it wants itself to get you clicked. Okay, so when you click on it, you will be able to see an option called study material. So you can just click on the study material and you will be taken to this ebooks and comics section. Alternately, you can also click directly on the ebooks and comics section, of course, but you can go for this ebooks and comics section and you can see the NAC study materials over here. So in the NAC study materials, you can see we have curated grade-wise ebooks for each grade. So each of these ebooks actually contains very good interactive information. It's in the form of pictures, videos, also in the form of games and puzzles. Okay. And that will actually help you to prepare for this NAC in the best possible manner. So whichever grade you are in, whichever grade you are appearing for in the NAC, you can get access to that particular ebook. And when you get access to that particular ebook, you are able to get the list of all the different subject and topics that you actually need to cover up to maximize your chances of winning this particular Olympiad. So I strongly suggest that you go for this particular ebook. If you are low on credits, because if you do not have enough credits, it might tell that you do not have enough credits to get this ebook. So if you want extra credits, you can see there's a buy option at the top of this platform. So you can click on the buy and you will see the top up plans over here. So according to your need, you can just take a small top up plan and you can go back to this ebooks and comic sections, click on the NAC study material, or alternately, you can come from this button above, that is NAC study material, and of course, you can get your ebook. I have access to all the ebooks, but you need only one ebook, right? You do not need to access to all the ebooks as of now. So only for your grade, whichever ebook is there, you just need that. And I tell you, it's really suggested that you get that, as it will enhance your preparation. Okay, so although it's not compulsory, it's highly recommended. So now that we are clear with this NAC ebooks, let me also give you a brief glimpse on a very important thing that has also been recently uploaded on our Spacetopia platform, and that is the sample papers. So when you click on this NAC button, you will get an option of sample papers. You can just click on this sample paper and it will open up a page containing the sample papers of all the grades for which we are conducting the NAC exam. So let's say I want to open up the sample paper of grade 8. You can just click on open PDF and it will open up this sample paper. So you will be easily able to actually give yourself a quick go as to what are the different kind of questions that might be asked during the NAC exam. It's just for a small practice. It's not something that you can just solve and ace the exam, but it's a good way in which you can actually quickly give a short revision for your preparation for NAC. Okay, so we have uploaded the papers for all these 6 grades for which we are having the NAC exam. Do remember to check it out in our platform by going to this NAC sample papers section. So well, with that cleared out, let's go back. So I will just take you back to my presentation. So let me just stop sharing for a second. And let me just share back my presentation. Meanwhile, I can see that there are certain questions that are actually coming up on the chat. So few of you are actually saying that you do not have the sample paper option. Just check it out on the Spacetopia platform. After this session, you will definitely will be able to see that particular option and you will be able to actually access and download the sample papers. Well, so now that we are clear with how you can access the ebook, let's move on to the most important thing that we all are here for, and that's the format of this Olympiad. How this Olympiad will be conducted, what is the pattern, and what are the other important things that you must know. So I suppose that students from all the different grades, especially those who have participated in NAC, must be paying attention, because from here onwards, we are going to discuss some very important things about this particular test. So the exam pattern will be online proctored test. So it's an online test, but it will be continuously proctored. So it's a live proctored exam. If you are not aware of proctoring, it basically means that your mic and camera will be switched on throughout the test, and your video will be monitored continuously. Your video will also be saved in the backend, so that later, if required, then we can refer to it to know if you have actually used any kind of measure to any unfair means to just ace this particular exam. We sincerely hope that you use the best of your own knowledge and skills to actually make the best results out of this particular test. Anyway, the important thing for this test is that it has to be attempted only on a laptop or desktop. There is no provision for the allowance of mobile phones or tablets. The platform in which you will be actually appearing for the test, the link to that platform will be shared to you before the test. So at that time, that platform itself will not open up on any kind of iPad or tablet or mobile phones. It will only open up on laptop or desktop. Okay, so make sure that you are able to arrange a laptop or a desktop at least during that period when you are appearing for the NEC exam. The laptop should have a working camera and microphone, and the camera and microphone will be turned on and it should be working all the time. So that's how this particular test will be conducted. Okay, so no mobiles, no tablets. Okay. Second important thing is in this particular test pattern is the number of questions. So there will be 60 multiple choice questions. That means you will have 4 options for each questions, one of which will be correct. All will be multiple choice questions, and you will be given 60 minutes for all these questions. So 60 MCQs, 60 minutes, that means 1 hour test. Of course, if you are too brilliant, you can cover it before 1 hour itself. So for some of you who might just think that what happens if I complete the test in 45 minutes, let's say I'm too brilliant, so you can complete it in 45 minutes. It's completely fine. So you can complete it before also, but 60 minutes is the maximum time. If you're not able to complete within 60 minutes, then at the 60-minute mark itself, the exam will automatically end. The test will automatically end up. So make sure that you are actually able to complete the questions on time. Okay, so it's an online proctored test containing 60 MCQs with 60 minutes in hand. Now, if you look at the login window, because that platform will actually require a login. Okay, the details of the login, how to do and everything will also be shown to you very soon. We'll upload a dedicated video on how you can actually enter into your test through that particular platform. But as of now, just remember that platform will be open from 10 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening. So 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. I will show you the dates also towards the end. I'm sure that some of you might be also aware of the dates, but whenever the test is, it will be from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And 4 p.m. will be the last entry, of course, because the test is for 60 minutes. So, of course, since it's for 1 hour, you need to make sure that you are arriving or trying to log in at least at 4 p.m. so that you are able to get the entire 60 minutes for yourself. At 5 p.m., the exam window will close and you will not be allowed to appear. That means basically the test will close and you will not be able to appear for that test. So this is the login window, that is 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. While you are actually entering into that test through the platform, you will be asked to upload a picture of yourself. So the system itself will click a picture of you, but you will have to hold an ID card. While it's not compulsory to have an ID card, you yourself can also sit in front of the camera and just have the picture of yourself clicked. It's not compulsory to have the ID, whether it's a government ID card or a school ID card. But if you have an ID card, it's completely fine. Overseas students, what you can do is that you can hold your passport. Okay, in case if you do not have a school ID, or let's say if you're an international student, you can hold your passport. But then again, IDs are not completely compulsory. It's just recommended. If you have one, you can hold it. Okay, so I will show you a picture also how you need to hold it and how you need to sit in front of the camera so that it does not mark any unfair means while you are appearing for the test. Once you have logged into the test, this is how your questions will actually appear. So there will be timer at the top that will constantly go down. That means that will constantly move from 60 minutes towards 0 minutes. So it will be a countdown timer. There will be an icon which will continuously show you that you are being supervised. So please do not use any unfair means. And your questions will come on the left side of your page with the options on the right side. So whatever is the correct answer, you can choose the correct answer and you can submit the answer. Now, there are two very important points that you need to note while you are actually understanding this test platform. The first is that if you want to skip a question, let's say you do not know the answer or you simply are not sure of the answer, if you want to skip, you can click on the skip question, and in that case, you will not get any negative or positive marks. It will be marked as 0. But once you submit an answer, whether it's skip or whether it's any option, if you submit an answer, you cannot go back. So let's say you have attempted the first question. Once you submit, you will go to the second question. You cannot go back to the first question. So make sure that you are completely confirm and sure and confident while selecting an option, because once you have selected an option and clicked on submit answer at the bottom, you can see you cannot go back to that question. So the test will be conducted linearly itself. You cannot shuffle or move between the questions. One question at a time, then the next question, then the next question. So you'll go from question number 1 till question number 60 in that manner. You cannot go back. Okay. So please make sure that you keep that in mind while you're appearing for the test. Okay. So what else? The important thing now is the types of questions. Well, some of you might already be aware of the different types of questions because we have covered up in detail about the different types of questions that will be asked during the NAC exam in our master classes. So already for 4 of the 6 grades, we have conducted the master classes where we discussed about it in detail. But just to give you an overview, we will have various different types of questions in this NAC Olympiad. We will have knowledge-based, understanding-based. We'll have questions which will use your critical and analytical thinking, certain numericals as well, so that we can test out your math skills, and certain STEM skills as well. Of course, we will also check if you are constantly updated on the recent events or the current affairs that are going on all around us in the domain of space science and astronomy, of course, not some politics or stuff. And we may also have some comprehension type questions where we are giving you a paragraph or something, and we are asking you 1 or 2 questions based on that. Okay. And of course, in the master classes, we are discussing about in detail. Just to give you an overview, we'll have the different types of questions will involve text-based questions, picture-based questions, graph-based questions, maybe match the following, and all these different types of questions. So make sure that you are mentally prepared and you are also preparing for this test in the same way, that you are keeping in mind what are the different ways in which we can ask you during the NAC Olympiad. Now, since you are clear with the different types of questions, let's look at the marking scheme. So the marking scheme includes, first of all, of course, if you are answering correctly, you will get 1 mark, that is +1. If it's an incorrect answer, then you will have negative marking. So minus 0.25, that means 1/4 mark will be reduced if you actually answer incorrectly. Of course, as I had already told you, if you're skipping the question or if you're not attempting at all, okay, so there is not an option to actually not attempt. If you do not want to attempt any particular question, then you simply need to click on skip. So if you do not click on any option, it will not let you submit the answer. Okay, so make sure that if you're not aware of the answer, or if you're not sure, you're clicking at least on the skip button so that you can move on to the next question. So then you will get 0 mark, of course. And based on this, the final score that will be calculated, based on which we'll be producing your results and based on which we'll be also be selecting the winners, the final score will be calculated on a percentile basis. So I am sure that most of you will be aware about the word percentile. So it basically is a scheme in which we are comparing you with the other students with whom you are competing. So final score will be on a percentile basis, not percentage, but percentile. So this will be your marking scheme. Now, let's focus on the do's and don'ts while you are actually appearing for the NAC test. First of all, your face should be clearly visible. So I had told you just a couple of slides before that you need to actually have your picture clicked, the system itself will click your picture and upload it on the portal. However, even if you don't have an ID, it's fine. If you have the ID, this is how you can hold the ID. It will give you a shape as well. But if you do not have the ID, it's fine. But make sure that you are having more or less a plain background and you do not cover your face or wear any kind of sunglass or etc. If you have a power-based glass, of course, you will wear it. But do not wear any sunglass or do not cover your face with anything. Do not wear mask or stuff. Okay, just make sure that your face is clearly visible and you have a plain background. Other than that, the important things include that you ensure a stable internet connection. All of you are aware that it's an online proctored exam, so stable internet connection is, of course, a basic necessity. If you face, by chance, it might happen that you face an internet issue. Sometimes the Wi-Fi may get logged out or something like that. So in that case, what the test will do is that it will stop right over there and it will log you out. So within 1 minute, if you come back, if you again click on the link and come back, then it will allow you to log in and the exam will resume from exactly the point where you left off. So all those questions that you had actually submitted, they will be saved and the time itself will also be saved and you will be resuming your exam from the same time and from that same question where you last left off. But make sure that you are rejoining within 1 minute. That means you are rejoining quickly and immediately. Do not take several minutes. Like if you are rejoining after 5 to 10 minutes, then of course, the platform will not allow you to re-log in. So I strongly suggest that you ensure that you have good internet connection throughout the test. But by chance, if you get logged out, you still have a window of 1 minute to log back in. As I had already told you, you cannot go back to the question you already marked. So read each question carefully before answering. Okay. And most important thing is that you need to read and follow all the instructions promptly. So before the test actually begins, the platform also will show you a detailed list of instructions and things that you need to take care of. Okay, most of that will be exactly similar to what we are discussing today. But still, I recommend you to just quickly go through all those instructions that the platform shows you at that time, and you adhere strictly to all those instructions so that you are able to appear for the entire Olympiad smoothly and you actually maximize your chances of winning this entire Olympiad. So those were the important things that you need to actually do or follow. But what are the things that you absolutely don't need to do, or the don'ts? Well, the first thing is do not switch tabs during the exam. First of all, the exam will automatically open in a full screen window. But still, if you want to actually switch tabs or windows, it will give you a warning message similar to what you can see on your screens right now. So if the warning message comes, that means you need to be very cautious because the warning message will come only once. Once again, if you are switching a tab or a window, it will immediately log you out of the exam. It may not allow you to log in. Sometimes it may allow you to log back in after a few minutes, again, maybe 5 minutes or so. But in that case, you will actually lose time. Okay, because you will lose 5 minutes of your valuable time of the test. Okay, but make sure that you are not at all switching the tabs or the windows. Otherwise, you will get warning message. Similarly, if there are multiple faces which is detected in your camera feed, still it will give you warning message. If there are too many voices which are coming, let's say somebody is actually whispering the answers from beside, or somebody is trying to, show you the answers and you are constantly looking at somebody else like this, like that. So it might also record that, and there is a good chance that you will still get a warning message. Okay, so make sure that you do not use any unfair means to pass this test, and you are ensuring that you actually play it fair and square and maximize your chances of winning. Okay, and also remember that even if you do not get any warning message throughout the test, still all your actions that you are doing on your computer or laptop will be recorded in the back end by the system, by the platform. So later, if again it is found that there is some kind of unfair means that was used, or there is some chance that unfair means was used, your result might be kept on hold or you may be disqualified. Okay, so make sure that you're not using any kind of unfair means. Apart from this, not switching tabs or windows, there are certain other important don'ts as well. For example, of course, use of mobile phones, smartwatches, calculators, earphones, headphones, or secondary devices are not at all allowed. Some of you were asking, can I use a headphone or plug in a headphone? No. First of all, you do not need any headphone or earphone for the entire test. And secondly, also for any kind of reason, I strongly suggest do not plug in any earphone or headphone. Otherwise, the platform may detect it as an unfair means. So no earphones, no smartwatches, no mobile phones, no other electronic devices are allowed. It is strictly prohibited. Background noise suggesting external assistance may lead to disqualification, which I already explained to you. Also, although the camera and mic will be kept continuously kept turned on, do not try to physically, hamper the camera or microphone. Of course, it might not be possible for you to cover the microphone, but do not try to physically tamper the camera. For example, right now also, I am also on a webinar with you, so I can physically just play with the camera and just hide it with my finger. Do not try to do that. Otherwise, that will also bring up a warning message and you may get disqualified. So make sure that you are not tampering with the camera or microphone throughout the test. Looking away from the screen repeatedly will also lead to disqualification, which I already explained you. And very importantly, multiple faces should not be detected in the camera view, okay? Because that is also being constantly monitored. So I suppose that that makes it clear to all of you that what are the important do's and don'ts that you must keep in mind while you are appearing for the NAC test. Now that we are clear with the entire NAC, test and what are the do's, don'ts, and what are the guidelines, let me also show you a link. The same link you can find in the chat as well. So in the YouTube live chat, the same link will be just pinned. This link, you can use this link to actually test the compatibility of the computer or laptop from which you will be appearing for the test. So it will check if your display, camera, mic, browser, internet, everything is actually working properly. If it is working properly, it will show you that the test is complete and the system check is properly done. In that case, you can rest assured that you can actually appear properly for the test whenever it is conducted. So to make sure that your computer or laptop from which you will appear for the NAC Olympiad is compatible, I suggest you go to this link, and in the chat also you can find it in the live chat. So you can go to this link and you can actually test out your system. Although it's not compulsory, if you're confident that your camera, mic, and everything is working properly, it's not compulsory to check out this link. However, if you're not very sure, you can check it out. And if you face any trouble, then you still have many days to go for the NAC test, so you can get your computer or laptop repaired or replaced accordingly. Okay, so you can go for the system diagnosis test, the link to which you can find in the Spacetopia live chat, also in the YouTube description. That means the description of this live video. Now coming to a very important thing, that is the important dates, which we had already announced. So just to make it very clear to all of you, save these Olympiad dates. On 24th of January, we'll have the Olympiad for 7th, 8th, and 9th. And on 31st of January, we will have the Olympiad for 4th, 5th, and 6th grades. Okay, so for the seniors, we'll have actually first on, that is on 24th, and then after a week, we'll have for the juniors. Okay, so make sure that you're saving these dates, you are keeping these dates completely fixed in your mind. Do note that on both of these days, the portal will be opened from 10 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening, that is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Few of you were actually asking in the chat that what is the time zone. So time zone is your local time zone. So people in India, you can follow your own time zone, that is 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock Indian Standard Time. People in the Middle East, let's say, or in the UAE, you can follow your UAE time zone. So based on your own local time zone, the timing is from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So during that entire period of 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock, you can actually attempt the test for those 60 minutes. So make sure that you save these Olympiad dates and also keep in mind the time for which the test will be actually open. And finally, the D-Day, the results for which you all will be very excited and very eagerly waiting for. So your results will be declared in the last week of March. Eventually, we will, of course, let you know the exact date. But as of now, the estimated date will be last week of March when we'll be declaring the results, and we'll let you know who are the winners, who will be actually getting the trophies or, the certificates and all these things, and who will actually get selected to go for that sponsored trip to the Udaipur Solar Observatory. So to maximize your chances, make sure that you are preparing in the best possible manner and you are actually prepared and you are actually appearing for this test also in the most fair and square manner. So apart from this, if you have any kind of queries, any kind of questions regarding the NAC, regarding its preparation, regarding the ebooks or our Spacetopia platform, regarding NAC, you can contact us anytime at hello@nationalastronomy.org. You can write us an email, and you can, of course, expect a reply at a maximum of within 24 hours, except Sundays. On Sundays, we are off, so we might get delayed a bit in replying. But apart from that, you can expect a reply from us within 24 hours of your email. So make sure that you note down this email ID. This is specifically lined up for all the queries regarding NAC. Okay. And here you can scan this QR code to join our Spacetopia community on WhatsApp, where we are giving you regular and constant updates about all the different events, all the different live sessions, the DIYs, and all the engagements that we are having on our Spacetopia platform and also on our YouTube channel. So make sure that you are scanning this and joining our WhatsApp community if you haven't yet. You will get the latest and the quickest update through this WhatsApp community. So I hope that that answers most of your questions that you already had. If you have any further questions, I already told you all that you all can actually contact us at hello@nationalastronomy.org. What I am going to do is that since we talked about this particular ebook, let me just quickly show you back. So when you go to this NAC option on our Spacetopia platform, you can go to the study material, which will open up the section called NAC study material. Oh, now the page is lost in a black hole. Well, that might also happen sometimes, right? So let me just try to fix this error. And yes, voila, we have fixed this error. Thank you so much. So in this particular section, you can see that we have ebooks for all the different grades. So you can access the ebook for your grade, and you can enhance your preparation and maximize your chances of actually acing this contest in the best possible manner. So make sure that you get access to these particular ebooks. If you face any issues, you can, of course, contact us, which we have already told you. And we have also given you option of sample papers. So right by clicking on this NAC, you can get the option of sample papers, where you can solve these papers and just quickly have an idea what are the different kind of questions that can be asked. And you can also revise certain important concepts. So I hope that that answers all the questions that you might have regarding the National Astronomy Challenge that we are conducting this year. So thank you so much, all of you, for joining us today live. It was more of an informative session. I know there was not much interaction or stuff, because this was anyway a session in which we are going to inform you about the way in which this test is going to be conducted. I hope that it now makes it clear that how it will be conducted, what are the things you need to take care of, what are the things that you should keep in mind before appearing for the NAC Olympiad test. So now, just before we wind up, let me just quickly browse through the chat and take up any important questions that might be there. So I also have Garvit sir along with me today. So Garvit sir, is there any other important question or anything that we need to cover up? Or I think we can wind up. So few of you are asking, still asking that do we actually need a laptop or a PC? Yes, we do require you to have a laptop or a PC. You will not be able to attend it with a mobile phone or a tablet. Okay, so
also, sir, someone is asking that can they attend the exam from their mobile phones? So can you explain?
yeah, so no, you won't be able to attempt it through your mobile phone. So the system diagnostic test link that you have got in your live chat and also in the YouTube description, it might be opening up on your mobile phone or tablet, but the actual test link, the link through which you'll be actually appearing for the NAC test, that will not open up on your mobile phone or tablet. In fact, you can check at that time, it will simply prohibit you from logging in through that portal. And if you try to do that multiple times, you may be blocked. So therefore, I once again repeat, and I strongly suggest that you have a computer or laptop for attending this particular test, that is the NAC Olympiad test. Otherwise, you won't be able to actually attend it. Also, few of you are asking, is there a mock test? No, there is no mock test as such. We just have a system diagnosis link, which we have provided to you. Again, it's not compulsory. If you're confident your system works fine, your camera, mic, internet, browser, everything is working fine, it's not compulsory to do that, but it will just take a couple of minutes. So if you want, you can just visit the link and do the system check so that you are completely confirm and confident that your system is properly working. There will be no mock test or any formal test as such before the NAC Olympiad. We have anyway uploaded the sample papers. So instead of mock test, you now have a few sample papers to just solve and get an idea about the different kind of questions that you might be asked. So I hope that that answers all the questions that you had. So
Sir,
keep in mind the dates. Yes, sir.
yes, sorry to interrupt. Someone
Yes,
is
sir.
asking that if they use a calculator on top of their register, so is that allowed?
Yeah, so see, I had already informed you that if you have any kind of tabs or windows that are opened up, the system will automatically detect it. So even if you have a calculator app or something that is opened up on the screen, so the system will detect it and it will give you a warning message. If you do not follow that, you will be disqualified. So what I suggest is that I suggest you all to just use a pen and paper for most of your calculations. Just practice on your math skills a bit so that you are able to solve the questions quickly. But by chance, if you actually require a calculator, then I suggest that you do it with your pen and paper itself. Again, while using the pen and paper, you might have to look down. I understand that, but the system works in that way itself that if you're constantly, repeatedly looking down or repeatedly looking very far from the camera, it will detect your video as an unfair means. So make sure that even if you are using a pen and paper for calculations or something like that, so make sure that you are not looking too much away from the camera or you're not looking away repeatedly. Otherwise, it may mark you as using unfair means. So do try to use your mental math and mind. Do practice on it a bit so that you maximize your chances of actually solving, especially the numerical based questions. Okay. So yes, sir. So any other questions?
No, sir. It's
Okay, all right. So I can see some of you are also asking some very realistic and practical questions, though, and that is food or water allowed? Of course, it's a 1 hour test, so I can confidently say that food is not allowed. If we watch you eating food, then it might be considered as an unfair means. Okay, the system might also before us, the system might also flag it as an unfair means. So I suggest you do not eat any food at least for that 60 minutes. You might have a glass of water with yourself, but I strongly suggest that since you will have 60 questions and just 60 minutes to solve, I think that probably you might not have time to actually have any food or water throughout the test. But yeah, just to clear that question, we do not have any problem as such, but make sure that you're not looking away from the camera, and whatever you do, it's actually right in front of your camera. So let's say I have something in my hand, it's completely clear and it's in front of the camera so that it's not detected as using unfair means. So keep that in mind. Okay. So and yeah, one of you is asking, will we be selected from each grade of each school? No, you will not be selected based on your school. You will be selected only based on your grade. Okay. But yeah, of course, rewards will also be given to your schools if you are participating on behalf of your school, that is in the form of your friends or colleagues from your school. Okay. So no calculators are allowed even on the paper. Yeah, of course, no calculators are allowed as such, because calculators can also be electronic devices, and if you seem to be using calculator, the system might detect it as using unfair means. So make sure that it's best to use pen and paper itself, because as I said, that even if you do not get a warning message on your screen, it may still flag you as a warning in the back end. So your test might be successfully completed, but later on, while generating the result, it might flag you as have used unfair means, and it might tamper around with your declaration of the result, or it might declare you as disqualified or something like that. So to be completely on the safer side, just use pen and paper, and just make sure that you are not using any other kind of unfair means. All right. So I hope that that answers all of your questions. Of course, if you have any further queries, any doubts, so what you can do is that you can, of course, write to us anytime. You can join our WhatsApp community, where if you directly ask the questions, we'll be able to answer you. Or you can, of course, write to us at any time at hello@nationalastronomy.org. So with that, thank you so much for joining. I hope you all have a good day, and I wish you all the best for the upcoming NAC Olympiad test. So thank you so much for joining. We'll see you all very soon. Good.